Back to Fargo for the Class A Girls Basketball Championships. This is semifinal night from the Fargo Civic. Lee Timmerman, Dan Hammer, Scott Peters, Kevin Carroll, and the entire NBC North Dakota Sports team welcoming you back. Well, Ham, Minot is in. We know that. We don't know who they will play. It'll be either the #1 ranked team in the final poll or the #3 ranked team in the final poll. That's Mandan and Bismarck High. They met twice during the regular season, and both of those games Bismarck wants to forget.
That's right, because they were both blowouts. The first meeting of the year, Mandan won 73-40. The second meeting of the year, 70-30, which begs the question, can Bismarck make this a competitive basketball game?
Well, they'll have to do it early on. That's one thing they want to do is establish something early. And the one thing that Mandan wants to do is do what it did the first couple of games, because they were some big-time blowouts in that contest. Well, for some keys to this game, let's go down to the floor where Scott and Kevin are there, and they have those for us.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Well, obviously the key for Bismarck, like you mentioned, they got to stay in this game in the fourth quarter. They got to be hanging around and stay within striking distance. And obviously you're going to make mistakes against the Mandan team that provides a lot of pressure, but they can't avoid to compound those mistakes and make them one after another after another. Kevin?
Well, taking a look at Mandan, the faster this game goes, the better off it's going to be for them. They want this one to be like a track meet, a full-out press throughout the game. Also, very important to them, they need to swarm to Lindsay Ness. They need to keep her in check and stay all over her. And that will be the key for them in this game.
We've all seen how Mandan can run away from these games. Hopefully Bismarck will stick within this one and give us a good one for our second game, guys.
All righty, a couple of players that we think you should keep your eye on in this game. On your left, Natalie Bruner, Bismarck High, the 5'6" senior guard, the highest scoring player in Class A basketball this season. She averages 25 points a game. Just one of 2 players in double figures, but what Bruner is so skilled at is attacking the basket, and she's also a good rebounder. And she has the knack of putting herself in situations where she goes to the free throw line time and time again.
Well, Carrie Hansen, number 22, you saw her on the Hardy Star profile between games. She is going to Kansas State to play point guard. Also happens to be the leading scorer for a very balanced Mandan team, the deepest team probably that Mandan's ever had. Hansen has really forced her teammates to get used to having the ball anytime. She's an exceptional passer, also leads Mandan in assists and steals, and has 41 three-pointers on the year.
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by your friendly Dodge dealer. Dodge difference. Starting lineups for the Bismarck High Demons. Natalie Bruner, that 5'6" senior guard who is undecided yet as far as her future in college basketball. Emily Knoll is a 5'5" junior guard. Up front for the Demons, Megan Espeland, a 5'8" senior, along with Lacey Dewall, a 5'10" senior, and Lindsay Ness, who has really been playing well lately for Bismarck High. She had 8 fourth-quarter points last night. And the head coach, Rich Hovland.
The Mandan Braves, Carrie Hansen, the senior, as we've mentioned, it's 16.5 a game. Also the best free throw shooter. Crystal Dykert in the starting lineup. She started yesterday. Crystal is a black belt in Taekwondo, has exceptionally quick hands to help her on the defense.
Don't be messing with her, LT.
Absolutely not. Amy Freeze, another guard. Both of these teams kind of in a 3-guard lineup. Freeze, a tenacious defensive player, probably the most consistent defender for Mandan. Nikki Wright. Nikki is a senior-dominated lineup. She is 5'8". When she shoots a three-pointer, I mean, it is a high-arching three-pointer. She really gets the ball in the air. And Angie Frenzel in the championship game was her coming-out party last year. 26 points, 12 rebounds in that one. She loves tournaments, the coach says with a smile. She scored 18 points yesterday. And the coach is Greg Amundsen in his 21st year at Mandan High. He's been coaching as a head coach 25 years. His teams have been in 5 straight title games, winning last year and winning in 1995. Will they get there again in 2000? That's what will be played out before you at the Fargo Civic. The Demons and the Braves, Cross River rivals.
What would you do if you or your child developed multiple sclerosis? As Nellie's disease progressed, she lost her ability to walk. But the North Dakota Association for the Disabled came to the rescue and brought...
Well, Dan, remember this basketball game a few years back in the NCAA, Villanova against Georgetown?
Ah, yes.
Rich Hovland feels that this is his Villanova against Georgetown.
Yes, indeed. The Demons hope to make it one shining moment. And on a local level, more of like a Grand Forks Central against Minot High back a few years ago in the State A Boys Championship game.
Long pass ahead to Freeze. And Amy Freeze draws the first foul as Mandan trying to press the issue on offense.
Well, they will do that relentlessly on the Shields instant replay. Freeze attacking the basket. We talked about the physical nature of this Mandan team. The most physical team that Greg Amundsen has had.
Because his guards are so strong, I think has a lot of reason to do that. It's not that they go out and bang so much as that they're just, I mean, they're in the weight room. They're strong.
That's right. Well, in fact, weight training is part of their daily regimen. They're one of the few teams that you will see prior to each practice each day spend an hour in the weight room.
There's that high arching three-pointer from Nikki Wright. Well, was that right hand? Does that ball have some air underneath it?
I get it. And you talk about threes. Mandan on the season attempted 381 threes. That's lofting 16 attempts a game, for crying out loud.
And you talk about steals and pressure defense, 23 steals a game. Granted, it hasn't necessarily been against, you know, there's some teams, to put it bluntly, in the West that were pretty weak this year, and Mandan had their way with them. But you talk about steals and good teams, and Bismarck, is, you know, during the regular season is the second best team, and they had, Mandan did, steals in what, the 30s in each one, and
yes,
drawing turnovers.
You know, something else I think an early trend, especially when Bismarck's in the offensive end, is to see just how physical the officials will let this game be.
Gary Hansen, number 22. First team All-Stater from a year ago. She was All-State as a sophomore in Colorado, and it's inside to Angie Frenzel.
Boy, she having a good tournament. She's made 8 of her 12 field goals so far in this tournament. But she loves her tournament time. They talk about Reggie Jackson being Mr. October. Angie Frenzel, the last couple of years as far as girls basketball, has been Miss November.
Emily Knoll, pretty good shooter. Megan Esplund right there. Over to Natalie Bruner. Bruner, and that's what makes her a tough shooter. She doesn't bring the ball down. Nest had it blocked. Dewald has a second chance, but Bruner is unorthodox in the fact that when she catches it above her head, it stays above her head.
She releases there, as you see Ness attacking the offensive boards. You know, the first attempt there was blocked cleanly, the foul coming on the second attempt.
Now Dewald will shoot twice, 63% on the year. One of 4 seniors in the starting lineup. Played quite a bit last year. Key role off the bench for the Demons.
And from a psyche standpoint, or a mental standpoint, she's kind of the rock for Bismarck High.
And the Braves battling themselves, and it comes down to Frenzel. It's 5-zip. Team with the ball has the lead. Freeze to right, lobbing it to nobody. Frenzel just kind of like, well, no, not quite.
Right turning, didn't even hardly look at the basket, threw more to a spot that time than to a person per se.
Dewald gets it ahead. Back to Dewald. She'll shoot every once in a while from outside the arc, but not a whole bunch. Esplund, who has the ball right now, can hit some threes, and Knowles very good when she has a chance to set up. Bruner double teamed when she's trying to drive. It's one thing Mandan does not want Bruner to do, as you mentioned off the top, Dan. Esplund from about 16, and the Demons still looking for their first points.
Mandan played so well defensively last night, LT, against West Fargo. Got such great help side defense, and And really, despite that being a 12-point ball game, their defensive effort was almost flawless last night against West Fargo.
Communication, one of the major reasons why. They switched every pick with West Fargo the entire game. Reach in foul. Rick Hedberg says it'll be on Crystal Dykert. Her first.
That's her second foul, third team foul.
Or second. Sorry, I missed one in there. Heidi Zander is a 5'3" junior. She checks in. So does Pam Weigel right there. Pam is a senior at 5'10". 3 minutes in to quarter number 1 of our second semifinal game. Weigel down the lane. She loves to use that left hand. It's her offhand, but she goes to it well. But off the heel of the rim. Esplund is the one guarding Hansen. Freeze from behind the line. A very good rebounder, pulled one down, but lost her feet. And right hit the back edge of the backboard, and it comes to Weigel. Knoll will run and has some help, but she didn't get it to her as Hansen took it right off her hand.
Well, Megan Esplund on that far wing, the left wing, was wide open for what would have been an uncontested layup had the ball been passed right at about the mid-court line. Instead, Knoll decided to stay with it.
Bismarck brings in a sophomore, Betsy Olson. Mandan brings in a junior, Megan Hansen, number 32. Bruner
with a hand in her face.
And
partially tipped. I think it may have been tipped.
Nonetheless, it was off the Braves. Lindsay Ness way out front to Knoll. Bruner waving her arms, but she's a long way from the ball. Weigel over to Knoll. Mandan in that 2-3 zone. A lot of teams have tried the, the gimmick type defenses, the box and ones and things like that against Bruner, as Knoll heaves it up from 3 and drains it. Boy, the net barely wiggled on that one.
So.
Emily Knoll, her 10th three-pointer on the year. Freeze on the cutter, goes to the line. The foul on Olson.
One thing about Mandan, when they set picks, their picks are solid picks. Watched a couple of picks prior to that attempt on the Shields instant replay. And those aren't those kind of phantom half picks and you're rolling already away from the pick. They are solid picks.
Mandan on the year, the highest scoring team in the state, I believe. It's over 76 points a game. Freeze gets the second one. Will break away with just over 3.5 minutes left in the first, and it should be 6-3 with Mandan leading.
Mid-Continent Communications is connecting you to the future, no matter where you live. So, who's Mid-Continent? Actually, we've been serving the Midwest for 50 years, delivering cable TV, telephone services, and now high-speed internet. We're bundling all these services together under one.
A couple other sporting events we're keeping an eye on for you. College hockey, the Gophers lead the Sioux second period by a goal, 3-2. And at the AAA football championship in the first quarter, it is North over Bismarck by a touchdown and a PAT, 14-7. Well, that track meet that Mandan wants, they haven't had yet, have they, Dan?
No, they haven't. It hasn't been quite that tempo.
Bruner blocked by Frenzel. Talk about blocks. Angie has over 70 right now on the year. Long arms.
Shields instant replay. That's a spot on the court, though, where Bismarck would like to get Natalie Bruner anywhere from 8 to 10 field goal attempts tonight. Somewhere within 15 feet of the basket.
Frenzel just blocked Weigel, but Weigel got it back to Bruner. And there'll be a two-shot foul, I think, on Frenzel. Yeah, Hansen.
Frenzel was there.
The ball pretty hard, but it's on Frenzel.
Shields instant replay. Bruner putting it on the floor, getting by Hansen initially, and then Frenzel picks up the foul.
Bruner looking for her first points. Scored 14 yesterday, had 6 rebounds. You mentioned her being a very good rebounder at 5'6". She reminds me of Lisa Mouse in the way that, not being the tallest player in the world, but one of the toughest rebounders I've ever seen. Mouse was just tough. Hansen along the baseline, and she has her first field goal. Lead is 3. And as Olsen can control it, no, neither does Freeze, but Bruner does. Bruner goes around Frenzel this time, but not Freeze. Freeze ahead to Zander. Zander has it taken away. No, it is a foul on Olsen. Now that's one thing that Mandan likes to do, is sneak Heidi Zander when she's into the game out quick.
Well, Zander, at all 5'3" of her, can kind of sneak down the court, get way out in front of the defense as she did that time.
A couple of substitutions. The gal with the ball in for the first time, that's Mary Shue, a senior, setting a screen, but not getting the play, the Zander. Shue had 8 points down the stretch yesterday. Jump ball, and it stays down on Mandan's end. Mandan used a high-low against West Fargo very, very effectively in the fourth quarter. Actually used it to pull ahead of the Packers. Megan Hansen from Carrie Hansen, and right with the rebound. Nikki has 5. She averages 10 points. Angie Frenzel a hair over 10. Amy Freeze a hair over 11. Carrie Hansen 16-5, and Heidi Zander at over 11.
Zander off the bench, averaging in double figures, all part of that offense, as you said, that's been clicking along at 76.5 points a game this season.
Average margin of victory, 35.
Yeah. The three-pointers, I think, more than anything, is a stat that I find just unbelievable. With tonight's attempt, they've attempted 382 three-pointers. And that's twice as many as most teams in this tournament.
Knoll and Esplin miscommunicated there.
But you don't think of them as a three-point
team.
Well,
not really.
You know, and they're really not in terms of their ways that they win a ball game.
And we talked about Minot's win over Mandan last week, and nice play there by Knoll. Gets it to Esplin. And after the loss, and then the subsequent win to qualify, on Sunday, Mandan had a practice, and Coach Amundsen said, I had the kids' attention.
I'm sure he did.
DeWall has some room to maneuver if she wants to. Now it collapses on her. Back to Knoll. She has 1-3 already, not that time.
Well, Greg will freely admit that he's a tough coach. But what he does with his staff, I think, is something kind of special, because, I mean, Greg is, he's the head coach, but he kind of lets his assistant, Marv Peterson, kind of handle the bench, per se. So if Greg is being tough guy and making a change in the game, right, Marv becomes the buffer then along the bench.
Inside of a minute here in the first. A bucket here from Bismarck. Would draw it down to 3. Olsen will not have the chance to do it. It rolls out to Knoll. 40 seconds left. And now here's a little bit more of that helter-skelter type of stuff. Even though Bismarck has the basketball and has had it a couple of times, it's kind of what Mandan likes.
I mean, that is dogging defense right there.
But they called the foul on Nikki Wright. Nikki Wright makes a lot of noise as Zander checks back in. She screams when it's ball and when it's dead, and you can hear her, and we did hear her in that instance.
It just creates a very uneasiness if you're being defended in that manner. You get the ball, and suddenly there's someone you know hawking you right in your face, as they do again.
Cross-court tip, but it does get to Esplin.
Look at that.
Looks like Mandan's trying to double the ball every chance now with under 20 seconds.
Bismarck barely has a count to 1-2 before someone gets the ball and they're double teamed.
Knoll with about 10. A little strong off the backboard. Frenzel, and she is fouled. The foul is on Emily Knoll. And in the tournaments, Emily's been a hair foul prone because she is so aggressive. She likes to bump. I mean, 5'5", she's not big, as number 5 Natalie Bruner comes back in. And Hansen will have to hurry. And that'll be the quarter. Low-scoring quarter. But the lead is 5 for Mandan at 10-5 after 1. Well, when you only score 5 points and 2 of them were from the free throw line, you know that Rich Hovland's team didn't shoot well.
Ooh.
1 of 14 shots. Mandan put up 8 and made 4 of them, but all things equal, Bismarck's not in a bad spot being down 5.
Considering they hit 1 of 14 shots, I guess so. Or that could be deadly against Mandan to shoot that poorly from the field.
The Braves stay in that 2-3 zone. Bismarck trying to find a way to get it inside. Heck with the inside. I'll just fire it down to Lindsay Ness.
You know, and part of that 1 of 14 in the first quarter was Bruner going 0 for 5.
Wright lobs it. A little too lackadaisical. Esplin tried to pull it to 1, but here comes Carrie Hansen. Now here's a little bit more of that track meet pace, but Bismarck back quickly. Zander likes to shoot the 3, as does Mandan. And the gal they call Z, all 5-3 of her hits her first 3. Bruner off the screen, drops it to Ness, and Ness wasn't quite ready for it. Ahead to Zander. They snuck her out again. Freeze off a nice catch. A very nice catch.
The pass was good. It wasn't pinpoint, but as you said, the catch was even better, and the convert off the catch.
First field goal for Freeze. She has 3. Zander bumping Lacey Dewall. Now Dewall at 5'10", a senior and listed as a forward, but when the Demons want to bring the ball up, they give it to her. They let Lacey kind of be the one. Number 11 is Jacqueline Hager. She saw some big minutes yesterday. 5'5" sophomore. Steal. Dykert. Layup. No good. Zander's second quick foul. And that should put Bismarck into the bonus.
Even though they didn't convert there, the last 30 seconds just shows you how quickly Mandan can kind of change momentum and tempo of a game, because Bismarck came out, hit that shot right away and got within 10-7. And then Mandan with the 3 and then the 2 off the break had the next 5 before Bruner makes the free throw here.
And she earns the back half of the bonus. I tell you, it's probably for Mandan almost a moral victory to go the whole first quarter and not be in the bonus. Yeah. As aggressive as they are on defense, they generally have quite a few fouls called against them. Bruner's second one is also good. She's at about 74% on the year, and all 4 of her points from the line. No field goals yet for the leading scorer in the state.
Well, and her at least 2 of her least productive games this year from a scoring standpoint came in both meetings against Mandan.
Freeze for 3. Dykert. She had 6 points yesterday, and that one blocked away by Ness. Ness has very good timing inside. Leading shot blocker, 37th one of the year right there. Freeze will trigger the inbound. Couple of minutes into quarter number 2. She took a quick shot there of Greg Amundsen. Hansen with the air ball. She has struggled a little bit shooting. Didn't have to score much yesterday. Did everything else very well. Esplin for 3. And Mary Shue, who had 3 boards yesterday, pulls down her first. Yeah, Bruner, I think, had 15 points in one game, 18 in the other. And they'll count that one, and a chance for a 3-point play the old-fashioned way as Angie Frenzel gets some high fives from her teammates.
Check it out on the Shields instant replay. Frenzel just attacking the basket, slicing between that would-be double team that Bismarck threw at her.
And that'll be on Mary Shue. The foul and the miss. Eighth team. put Ness on the free throw line. There you saw Rich Hovland looking to his left, talking to his assistant, Darren Matter. Hovland, a native of Rugby, so he was interested in a football game played today. He won't be interested in the result, I guess.
Not in the final result.
As Dickinson Trinity wins the AA championship this year. Ness hits them both and will break away. 5:37 left, second quarter. It is Mandan by 6. From the State A, Rich Hovland hopes that his team can overcome its 6-point deficit to be the team to take on the Magents for the championship, a championship that Mandan won last year. This is the second quarter. Dykert to the high post, and this is what really did in West Fargo yesterday. The high-low post, the kick out to Hansen, and Carey hits the 3.
Well, they had the low post defended well. They had 3 people around Mary Shue, but all she did was recognize that Carey Hansen was all alone on the perimeter there.
Biggest lead for the Braves, that's 9. 10-second count as the Demons were unable to bring it across the half court in the allotted 10 ticks. That makes coaches extremely happy when you do that from a defensive standpoint.
Mandan forcing on the average of 31 turnovers per game this season, which is another one of those stats from their sheet that you look at and your eyes kind of pop out.
29 points averaged off of those turnovers, so almost 30 a game. Pretty awesome as Frenzel had it taken away as she tried to pass it. Here comes Hager on the run. Hager will take it deep, and it's blocked, the third one of the game by Angie Frenzel.
Bruner with the fake, and she finds a way. She always finds a way if you give her a little edge. And that time she found a way to draw the foul from the free. On the Shields instant replay, as you saw, Bruner got by the initial defender, but what Mandan has done so well tonight and did on that possession is that once Bruner got by the initial defender, everybody else basically swarmed right toward her. Bruner is 5 for 5 as Weigel comes back in. Ness will take a break here for the Demons. 20-3 on the year. Bismarck High, 2 of those losses to the team they're playing right now. 2 to Mandan during the regular season and 1 to West Fargo in the East-West Classic to begin the season. Now pass to Shue. He put it on the floor, got it back, kicked it to right, and there's another one of those rainbow shots, but it was off the right side, and it'll be another foul, second foul on Mary Shue. We're into the double bonus now, so it'll be a 2-shot foul for Lacey Dewall. Dewall at over 63% on the year. 0 for 3 tonight. Megan Hansen, 6-foot junior, back in. There's the first point for Dewall. Hansen. Run down by Bruner. Demons trying to put a little mini run together here toward the last 3. Hager takes it over to Weigel. Into Bruner. That was kicked away by Mandan. Once again, Mandan getting good help defense on Natalie Bruner. When she received that ball in that far low block, she looked up and there were 2 defenders immediately on her. Bruner at the top of the key. And Hager didn't get the free. Free's got the rebound. We talked about balance too. Mandan has good balance when you look at rebounding stats. Frenzel almost walked, got it over to Freeze. That was a little flat, and there is Frenzel's follow. 6 now for Angie Frenzel to lead her team. Hanson has 5, Wright has 5. Diagonal pass to Bruner. And Bruner's just not getting it as deep as she wants to on those drives. Still without a field goal.
And that was great defense again there, because that was a shot that she almost had to force up with the defense tight on her.
So the long pass, lead pass ahead. Carrie Hanson to Amy Freeze. The foul from Esplin puts Freeze on the line.
Steals instant replay. A little transition ball for Mandan. Defense a little late for the Demons.
That's another thing with Carrie Hanson. She just sees the floor so well. I mean, she took one dribble and then fired two-handed chest pass about a little over half the length of the court. And there's Frenzel, offensive board, blocked once by Ness. The second one rolls off and a board by Bruner. So Mandan has tied now its biggest lead at 9. Bruner had it, lost it, and there's a reach-in foul as it came to Nikki Wright.
Bruner lost it on the dribble, gave it up to Mandan, and then just tried to recover by reaching out with one arm there and trying to get it back. Picked up the foul in doing so.
And Bruner will rest as Emily Knoll comes back in. There's Emily.
Rich Evelyn wants to get Natalie Bruner a little more rest tonight than what she would normally get. Last night, I think she rested for the final 48 seconds of the first half, but I think besides that, she played the entire game. But Coach Evelyn hoping to get her a couple more breaks tonight.
Speaking of breaks, we'll take one right now. At the 2:40 mark of the second quarter, 25-14, the biggest lead for the Braves.
At the University of Mary Arthur.
That's Lacey Dewall putting her shoe back on and her sock back on because she got a tape job on that left ankle during that timeout. So Lacey getting ready, and she will be back, no doubt, for the Demons, who have the ball and trail. Points have been relatively hard to come by here for Bismarck. You take away all those free throws, and what do you have? One 3-point bucket by Knoll. And a turnover. Hanson dribbles into the wing, now to the elbow, now into the lane, and it scores. Does it count? No. Jean Manson wipes it off because the foul was before the shot. The third foul on Emily Knoll. It still puts Hanson on the free throw line, though, to shoot the 1-and-1.
Carrie Hanson played with some of her old friends this summer on the Colorado Hoopsters AAU team, and all they did was win the National Junior Championship.
And right after that National Junior Championship, Hanson got on a plane, flew to Las Vegas, and joined the rest of her teammates for a team camp in Las Vegas.
Her Mandan teammates.
Yes.
Yep.
Where the Braves promptly won that summer tournament in Vegas.
That was at the end of the summer. Then Greg Amundsen got mighty nice and gave him 15 days off before the start of the high school basketball season.
I tell you, that's one of the advantages I think the North Dakota players have with the way the season is Esplin puts a shot up and it rolls out, is the fact that the kids can go straight from summer league straight into the games. I think that's a big help.
There's different schools of theory on that. I mean, some coaches love to play all those games in the summer. Some like to play a few, but not to go overboard in the hopes of just by the midway part of the season having your team burn out and get flattened out on you.
Still no second field goal for the Demons as Wright will kick it back now to Frenzel, who looks down to Megan Hanson. She's left-handed. And Weigel had the nice block right there. Mandan will keep it. Alternating possession on the held ball, and now Lacey Dewall is, as we see, sneaking off. So apparently they have something done with both of those ankles. Lindsey Ness called for the foul and will walk back to the free throw line. It's been a popular spot here in the first half. Still a bonus, 19 foul. Next one will be doubled. Minute 19 left in the first half. Tipped around, down to Bruner. Hey, you're right, Dan. In those first two meetings, Bruner was never really a huge factor between these two teams as Ness put up a three. Well, she really hasn't been in the first half tonight. I mean, she's made some free throws, but has yet to score a field goal. The Braves have numbers, and that's a tough shot, and it doesn't go for Hansen. Weigel. And that one's hard off the back iron, and man, that's the ultimate frustration what Bismarck High is going through right now. Good shots that just don't go. Frenzel, not quite. Last touch by Esplin. Mary Sue will come in with 31 seconds left in the half. A 15-point Mandan lead. Sue, blocked by Ness. Down to 12 seconds. Ness doubled along the baseline. And on the line was Ness. So just like at the end of the first quarter, Mandan has it here at the end of the second quarter. And you're in that range now for, if you're Bismarck High, where it slipped away from you a bit in the second quarter. Off the screen, Freeze from behind the line. And it's 29-14 for Mandan.
Outscoring the Demons by 10 in the second quarter. Only one field goal made by Emily Knoll. Otherwise, it's all free throws for Rich Hovland's team. Scott?
Thanks, guys. I'm with Rich Hovland, head coach of Bismarck High, and you said it walking off the field, or off the court, one field goal. Just nothing's falling.
No, be a short interview if we're just going to talk about that one. We're getting good looks, and we're even getting a few second shots. I like what we're doing defensively. We got to be a little tougher on the boards, and I don't know. I even like the tempo we're shooting. We just have to get a couple to fall and relax, and then hopefully we can get back in it.
And you got to take some confidence in the fact that it's not an insurmountable lead. If half those shots start falling, you're in this game.
Well, it's incredible. You're only down 15 to a very, very good team, and you know, in the semifinals of the state tournament, you only have one field goal. So we just got to keep battling. We got good kids, and they're going to keep doing that.
All right, thanks, Rich. Good luck second half. Guys, back to you.
That's right, 29-14, one field goal for the Demons. And when we return, we will return with the Farmers Union Insurance halftime report. Team in the left column.
The number in the left-hand column on the top is the number of the game, 2 of 25, 8%.
Now one field goal in the first quarter, one field goal in that second period. But the Demons did get to the line 12 times, made 9 of them. But you know, when you're not making shots and you're being out-rebounded to that nature, Hovland is right. They're lucky to only be down by 15.
Shooting 8%, yeah. Individually,
Carrie Hansen with 9. She has a three-pointer in there to lead all. Nikki Wright also has a 3. And Angie Frenzel has 8 rebounds to go along with her 6 points. Natalie Bruner 6, all from the free throw line. Ness and Knoll are the 2 that did make the field goal. So from that standpoint, I guess it's pretty easy to get on that sheet. But again, it's been all Braves. The first 2 meetings of the year, all Braves. In Game 6, 73-40. In Game 12, 70-30. And now here in the state semifinals, 29-14 at the half. We'll be right back to the Fargo Civic. Thoughts from the Braves coach? Let's go to the floor.
Great, thank you guys, thank you. Coach, fast tempo to the game early. Is this what you were expecting tonight?
We want a track meet. We want to get up and down, get Bismarck a little more, tired than they're used to. We have a great bench, and we're not afraid to use it. So we want our kids to get out and run hard and make that other team tired. And I think we've accomplished that so far.
Okay, you guys in the lead now. What did you tell the girls in the locker room at halftime here?
We got to have a lot of patience. We're gonna pass the ball, be patient on offense, and get a good look every possession, and still keep swarming on defense.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
All right, Kevin, third quarter comes your way next.
Why is Roundup Ultra herbicide better than the lead?
As we get set for the second half, it'll be Hansen, Freeze, Dykert, Frenzel, and Wright. The same starting five for Mandan. The Demons off to our left, getting set to break their huddle with their same starting five. It'll be Bruner, Knoll, Esplin, DeWall, and Ness. And the Demons looking for anything positive to happen.
And something positive to happen in their first couple times down the court offensively.
It's still a 7-point difference in the AAA championship game. North 21, Bismarck 14. Esplin put a three-pointer up, and Ness with a follow.
That's a positive. That's a positive.
Minot beat Fargo North right here earlier this evening in the semifinals. In basketball, knocked away by Bruner, controlled by the Demons. Ness on the wing, not where she generally likes it, and that generally doesn't happen either. Natalie Bruner trying to go up for the shot, she lost it.
Natalie Bruner had that pass down low by her knees. Looked like she'd go up for the easy two off the glass and just had it go off her fingertips.
Frenzel, a very versatile player. Mandan can do a lot of things with her.
Well, they can bring her out away from the basket, or she can score right there. She's comfortable either place, and we saw that from her last night against West Fargo.
Knoll in the corner to Esplin, gets past right over Frenzel and in. First two for Megan Esplin.
Well, chalked it up for two positives for Bismarck High to begin the third quarter.
The lead is 11. Emily Knoll, fourth foul on her. She tried to reach from behind and slap it away. Heidi Zander, and it looks like Betsy Olsen will come in. There's Olsen out for Knoll with her fourth. Zander comes in for Dykert.
3, 4.
Another turnover, and here comes Ness. Zander catches up, but not enough, as Ness lost it, got it, and then just got it right back up. 6 straight here in the third.
And Zander got a piece of it, but not enough to knock it away all the way from Ness, who really did a nice job of recovery to get two hands on the ball and put it in.
Well, the lead was single digits for a short time because Carrie Hansen just drilled her 43rd three of the year.
If you're Bismarck, that's just plain old disheartening. I mean, you score 3 straight field goals to begin the quarter, and Hansen comes down, and one shot kind of brings momentum back.
Rich Hovland in his 8th year as the head coach at Bismarck High. Also, he'll be part of a pretty strong boys basketball program, too. Defending champion Demons, and he's an assistant coach for Steve Miller there. Ness all alone, wide open. The bunny doesn't go, and the second one does for Natalie Bruner. Timeout taken, and a 20-second or 30-second timeout in this instance.
Think
an
Greg
8-3 run.
Think Greg Amundsen's going to talk about defense a little bit in this timeout? That's a rare situation where you see someone as open as Ness was on that last time down the court for Bismarck High.
Yeah. Wide open. Greg Amundsen, a Minot High School grad, went to Minot State, trying to get his team to play Minot High tomorrow for the championship. Gophers in the Sioux in the second, 5-3, but from what we understand, Ham, a little something extra?
Yeah, quite a bit of extracurricular activity going on in that game. We understand there was a major fight in that hockey game in Grand Forks tonight,
which will drastically alter the face of tomorrow's matchup in college hockey. Frenzel off the feed from Megan Hansen, and Angie Frenzel with 8. Carrie Hansen leads all scorers right now. She has 12.
Frenzel just suffocates that pass.
Xander will wait for her teammates. Nikki Wright tees it up. Short. Into the bunker. Timeout on the floor. 4:41 left to play in the third. The lead is 12, and it belongs to the Braves.
Come and relax at Merriweather's, the only restaurant overlooking the Missouri.
You see the scoreboard there? 34-22. Demons trailing, but they do have the third. No, they don't have it anymore. Another turnover. Frenzel surveys and goes to Hansen down low, and that's a foul on Lindsay Ness. That's just one of my favorite things on the offensive side is something high-low. If you've got a couple of players who can work it in and out from right straight down when you're at the basket, it's just so effective. Oh, Wright comes away with that one.
Somehow she did.
And it flips it over to Xander. Olsen with that board. Well, Mandan is a kick ball here. Did find a way, though, to kind of halt the run. You know, the three-pointer from Hansen, and then Frenzel came back with those two to halt that run that Bismarck was on, as Hager and Freeze are back in. Hager for the Demons.
Well, compared to their first two meetings, Bismarck right now, halfway through the third quarter, down by 12, is in much better shape than they had been in their prior two meetings.
The game was over at this stage in the first two meetings as Carrie Hansen fouls Natalie Bruner. So Bruner will shoot a pair.
Shields instant replay. Bruner again attacking the basket, getting by the initial offender. And
sorry, I thought it was on the way up. It wasn't. It was on the floor. Xander comes out, hold her head. She bumped out high. See, am I bleeding? It got me, Mick. Weigel. And Ness now trying to create a little something. And it went off of Olsen.
Bismarck's doing a good job attacking the offensive boards here as of late, and even though they didn't regain possession on that still brought up Rich Hovland from that bench. You got to cheer for his team for attacking the boards and at least getting a hand on it.
Frenzel drives and drops.
I think that shot might have been partially blocked.
Might have been. Which one of the two got it?
I think Ness may have got part of that.
Bruner with a nice pass down low to Weigel. Weigel's first bucket off the feed from Bruner. It's a 10-point diff. Last couple of possessions, Mandan doing a little bit of standing. Freeze didn't come close. Of course, there's always something a little magical about a single-digit difference as opposed to a double-digit difference if you're the team trailing.
Yeah. And you know, Mandan has the mentality. Sometimes where things aren't going so well on the offensive end, you know where they create everything in the defensive end, even though Bruner hits that shot to get it within single digits.
It's down to 8 as Bruner has 10. Ness went for the steal, didn't get it out high, and then was called for her third foul as Frenzel went around her.
Well, it was 29-14 at the half, and here in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, Bismarck has cut that deficit in half.
Timeout on the floor. There's your score. There's 2:21 left in the third.
A tradition of academic excellence. University of Mary graduates learn the meat.
Back at the Civic Auditorium in downtown Fargo, you're watching NBC North Dakota Sports and continuing coverage of the State A Girls Basketball Tournament. We're in semi-final night. Minot defeated North. Mandan is leading Bismarck. And out of the break, it's a high-low game down to Mary Shue and a chance for one more off the feed from Frenzel.
Greg Amundsen with a situational substitution out of that timeout, putting Mary Shue back into the lineup. They went right directly to the high-low. Frenzel inside the Shue, and a quick two for Mandan.
8 points yesterday, made 3 of 4 of her shots and both free throws. She does convert that three-point play, so up until that three-point play, it was a 12-5 scoring advantage for Bismarck here in the third. Bruner double teamed. They're going to look for a 10-second count, and they got it. Second time in this game, pressure in the backcourt has forced the turnover.
How about that coming out of a timeout for Mandan? They get the quick three-point play, and then they force a turnover defensively.
You know, that three-point play or the turnover, and Mandan will be happiest for the turnover. Double figures now for Frenzel. She has 10.
Number 35, Nancy Frenzel.
D-Wall bouncing a pass over to Weigel, and it rolls out for Weigel. I would say with Shue in there, looks like Mandan wants to use this high-low game a little bit more.
Here they go again.
Over to Hansen, open on the wing, and she uses the glass.
Well, that's just perfect execution there. Frenzel at the high post inside the Shue at the low post, recognized that Hansen was open on the wing and got it out to her.
Hager's in trouble in the back court. Shue got a fingertip on it.
This last minute of play has been superb for Mandan. Coming out of that timeout, they got the three-point play. Then they forced the turnover. Then they got the bucket. They made a defensive stop. They get a bucket, and they get a tip here.
Dykert is in. Wright is in. Zander out. Freeze out for Mandan. Dykert is out guarding Bruner.
Remember that 8-point deficit we told you about? It's 15 now.
Yep.
Happened in a hurry, didn't it?
Tipped, and it comes down to Frenzel. Lead pass. Here's Wright. I think she'll wait for the rest of her teammates with a minute left of the quarter. We're winding down quarter number 3. Frenzel around, one demon and in. 6 points in the quarter for Frenzel, 12 in the game. And the lead is right back up there. Bruner goes to the free throw line. It's on Frenzel.
Shields instant replay. Natalie Bruner in the open court.
Number 35, Nancy Frenzel, that's her second foul, second team foul.
And bumped and fouled.
Natalie Bruner to the line, shooting 2.
That's only the second foul in this quarter against Mandan. Megan Hansen back in. Bruner has a little bit of what you'd call kind of an unorthodox style of shot. Kind of releases it above her head or on top of her head. You wouldn't necessarily teach this to anyone unless, of course, they can do it like she does.
Yep.
25 seconds. Carrie Hansen will bring it out and go right side. Over to Hansen, behind the line for 3. Got the three-point field goal. So a three-pointer to end the third. A 20-point Mandan lead after 3. Carrie Hansen leading all scorers right now with 17 points.
And 12 quick points to end the quarter for Mandan.
We'll be back with the 4th.
Welcome. Grab a card and enjoy the many choices of Barlow's Econo Foods.
Your choice for fresh mixed and baked.
Hey, we got 2 teams here playing for a state or looking to become state champion. I'm standing here with a state champion, Matt Weiler from Belva. You guys won the game today. How's it feel to be a state champion?
It's a great feeling, you know, to get to the championship game and win it. It's just a great feeling, you know.
Okay, great. And what did it take for you guys to win today?
Our offensive line played a big key in our win today. They opened up the holes for us backs to run through, you know. Without them, we never could have won the game.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt. Lee and Dan, back up to you.
That's Belva winning the Class A football championship, beating Langdon today.
Linton HMB won the 9-man championship game. And Trinity won the AA championship game.
Can we talk about the final 2 minutes of that third quarter again?
Go ahead, Ham. It's a 12-0 run.
It was 34-26. We came out of that timeout. First possession, Mandan went high-low. Frenzel inside the shoe, 3-pointer. They come back, they get a turnover, they get points off of it. They make a defensive stop. Frenzel gets a bucket. Boom. 12 straight. You go from an 8-point game to a 20-point game in about 2 minutes.
And a semifinal championship.
Yeah.
In that span of that 2 minutes.
In boxing terms, that would be called a knockout punch.
Shouldn't say championship, a semifinal win to get you into the championship. Bruner has never been able to show herself because she's been harassed like that, even though Dykert picks up the foul, but
you know, as you look ahead to Natalie Bruner's college career, she is rather slight of build, and that might be one thing that might keep her from going to maybe a Division II level or beyond. I mean, she certainly has talent gift, but to this point, I don't think she has the physical nature that would be required to play at that level.
Esplin spinning in a double team with the arrow staying on the Demons' end. I guess, you know, from a kid being recruited standpoint, that's probably the hardest decision, you know, you have to make. What do I want to try to do? Shue ahead to Dykert off a Mandan turnover, lob to Shue. Mary wanted it after she had it blocked. No doubt about it.
She's been active since she came into the game. She did it on the defensive end. That led to this. Missed the shot, got her own rebound, kept it alive. Let's check it out on the Shields instant replay. She wanted that ball from the minute that transition break started. Had her hand up in the air. Missed it, got it back. Look at her battle for the ball there.
The foul was against Olsen.
She's come into the game with a little intensity here in the last few minutes.
Here she is again. Mary Shue, straight A's, I believe. I believe she's 4-0.
It's kind of a trend on this team. I think if you took this Mandan basketball team and posted their cumulative grade point average, I think you'd ring out at about a 3.7.
Hansen got a piece of that one. Rich Hovland is asking for a timeout, and he's waiting for one of the officials to see it. And yes, indeed, we do have a timeout on the floor. 6:27 left to play in the fourth. We'll be back with Mandan comfortably ahead. USA Girls Basketball Championships live on NBC North Dakota Sports. Mandan up by 21. Not anymore as Megan Esplin makes her second field goal. She has 4 points. The lead still 19 as Carrie Hansen brings it across for the Mandan Braves, trying to become back-to-back state champions. To talk about a Mandan team being in a state championship game, you would have to go back, what, 6 years to find one not. And there's Betsy Olson. She made that one and has one more from the free throw line.
Shields instant replay. Betsy Olson beating the Mandan defense back and then picking up the foul from behind. Hansen, as you see, the basket counts.
Third foul on Carrie Hansen. Some valuable minutes for the sophomore Olson, who will be counted on heavily next year.
Just to pick up on your thought, LT, about Mandan and its title games. Yeah, they're trying to win a spot in their 6th consecutive championship game.
Won it all in 95.
Yep.
Finished second for 3 straight years by a total of 5 points. Then won last year in 99.
Yep.
Frenzel's up to 14 now. And Knoll is on the floor, but tapped it ahead to Ness.
See, now, if that was the NFL, that play would be whistled dead because, you know, you can't be advancing the ball like that in the NFL.
We have Ken Stabler to thank for that one. And the Raiders. Dykert's 4. And Ness is 3 for 3 from the line. Heidi Zander will come in for Dykert. Ness with 10. Right at her season average. Ness has 10 points. Bruner has 10 points. So 20 of the 32, those two. But 32 is just not enough points against a Mandan squad who, you know, coming in, as we mentioned, scoring 76 a clip.
Well, so many times it's a game of matchups. And as great a year as Bismarck has had with 20 wins, this is just not a favorable matchup for them.
No. Yeah.
Mandan is a more physical team. They're a deeper team.
You have a sense, and you know, and they saw the first 2 games or portions of the first 2 games, and now what Mandan's doing in this one, you just have a sense, and you talk about matchups, and it's not taking anything away from the gals or their talents.
Oh, no.
But if they played 10 times, I think Mandan would win at least 9 of them. I really do.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Of course, the Braves have the nice opportunity here with this lead to be patient and just kind of work that basic motion offense. Ness has 4 now, and that'll be a bonus to put Frenzel on the line. Esplin and Weigel come back in.
Heading toward that 10 o'clock hour, we want to remind you to stay tuned for local news on your local NBC station following the game.
Frenzel making a run at game high honors. Carrie Hansen has 17. Frenzel has 16.
Lee and I will be naming the Midwest Area Association Player of the Game after this game and all of our tournament games this year.
Frenzel's foul, her 3rd. Esplin from the deep corner. Megan Esplin for 3. 17th time this year she has done just that.
I'd like to research this senior class that Mandan has. I mean, their overall record has got to be nothing short of phenomenal. The seniors, Carrie Hansen, Amy Fries, Angie Frenzel, Nikki Wright, Crystal Dykert, Mary Shue. I know going back 7 years, if you want to go back that far, which certainly elapses this senior class, but in the last 7 years in WDA play, Mandan has gone 132-4. That's gaudy numbers.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought I wrote it down last year, but I guess I didn't. D-Wall, Lacey, senior for the Braves, or excuse me, the Demons. 51-36. Almost 3.5 minutes left between a date and another championship game. You talk about this Mandan team as Frenzel now will pass Kerry Hansen for game high honors because of the pass from Kerry Hansen. But one of the things that I guess mentorship as it rolls out and Weigel has a second chance. It's one of the ways Xander and Noel Emily has just fouled out, but mentoring is one of the ways that Greg Amundsen today kind of explained what his seniors and the important role that his seniors in this program take. As we take a look at the Shields instant replay, in this case, Hansen and Freeze are probably the two most vocal style of leaders. You know, and a lot of that stuff happens in practice. You know, before that, you're talking about, well, you know, the last great run with Wendy Davis, Amanda Dietrich, and then Jay Amundsen before that. And he said it really starts back with Stephanie Dietrich, yeah. Where that you kind of get that senior that takes everybody else under their wing, so to speak. Xander makes the back half of that two-shot opportunity. 3:18 left in the fourth, and Mandan leads it big.
Look for Pizza Corner Pizza in the freezer case of your nearest grocery store and pick out your favorite. Pizza Corner's vacuum.
The Fargo Civic is where it's at for Class A basketball this week. The Bismarck Civic Center next week, as NBC North Dakota Sports will bring you Friday and Saturday night coverage from the State B. Still have a champion yet to decide tomorrow here in the State A, as Amy Freeze is called for the foul.
Mandan foul number 25, Amy Freeze.
That'll put a Demon on the line. Betsy Olson.
Second foul, 8th team foul.
Well, from our perspective, it certainly makes for a juicy setup to the state title game, because you have Minot and Mandan. Minot the only team to have beaten Mandan this season.
Last week.
That's right.
53-46 in the semifinals of the West Region. And the other thing that's a little interesting about that was that during the regular season, the closest anyone came to Mandan this year was 14 points, and that was by Minot. And we saw the style and the way of style of play and the execution that goes into that style of play that Minot used in our first game, the win over North, that really kind of can get teams frustrated when they execute well. And that was no fluke thing last week either. Minot beat Mandan. They played a better basketball game. Frenzel from the high post, where she has done a little bit of everything in this game. Esplin with the foul to put Heidi Xander on the line. Heidi Xander's very quick, very good speed. She has a younger sister who's faster.
Taller?
Yeah, a little bit taller, but then again, Z's only 5'3", so you don't have to search too far. Too hard to find someone a little taller. Made them both. She missed her first free throw attempt and then made 3 straight. 6 points now for Xander in this game. Ness looking inside. Now she'll go to Bruner off of her hands, but Natalie wanted it back and got it back. Pulls up in the lane and got it. 12 points now for Natalie Bruner. That is leading the Demons. Frenzel wanting it down in the low box, and Esplin with the foul on Wright puts Nikki on the line. But Wright has made her 2 free throws and has 7 points. Talk about athletes and speed. There's part of Mandan's 4x100 meter relay team. She's being recruited by a number of Division II schools.
Well, I believe Coach Amundsen thinks that he has 8 players on this team that'll play college basketball. Of course, Carrie Hansen, as we've alluded to earlier, has already signed with Division I Kansas State. There's likely to be several of these Braves that will play Division II basketball.
And of course, you have a number of DAC 10 teams around that would want a number of those players. Three-pointer from Bruner. 14-point lead with 1:48 left. Frenzel will go around Ness and will go to the free throw line. I believe that's all for Lindsay Ness. I think that's her 5th. She fouled out. Oh no, they called it on Weigel. I'm sorry, Lindsay.
Shields instant replay. Frenzel quick to the basket again after she received the pass just inside the free throw line, and the foul is on Weigel.
Frenzel with a chance now to get to the 20-point mark. And she does.
Well, tomorrow night's game will also feature the 2 highest scoring players so far in the state tournament.
Jamie Glick and Angie Frenzel. That's a tough foul to take for Amy Freeze. She went to the floor hard and got called because of the nice pick being set here. Check it out on the
Shields instant replay.
Ooh. That's a foul. It's a foul on Freeze. We'll be right back.
Why is Roundup Ultra herbicide better than the leading imitator?